What's going on, guys? My name is Ken and you're watching Simple Web Tutorial. Today, I will teach you how to build this Netflix clone web design using HTML and CSS only. To keep this tutorial simple, we will not include JavaScript to handle some complicated features of the website. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So for this tutorial, we will use SCSS or SAS to style the website. And if you're new or heard of it for the first time, don't worry because I will show you the reason why I chose to use this for this tutorial and some basic knowledge and some cool feature comes with it. And before we begin, let's first install Live SAS compiler and let's head to the extension tab here and look for Live SAS compiler. And then if you don't have this one in your IDE, by the way, I am using Visual Studio Code, and if you don't have this extension in your IDE, there will be a install button right here, just like this one. And once that's done, you might want to click the reload button to run the plugin. And you can confirm it by looking at the bottom right of your IDE that says watch SAS. So let me show you how this SAS works. First, let's create a new folder here called CSS and then create a new file called style.scss. Make sure that you named it style.css or any file name as long as it ends with .scss and not CSS only. Right here at the right side of my IDE, you can see I targeted all the elements and removed the padding, the margin, and set the box sizing to border box. And I added the font family open sans. So when you're done typing this one, we will try to click watch SAS here. And what this does, it compiles all the code from the style.scss into the style.css. And you can see it right here. And this will be the compiled version of the SCSS we just coded earlier. And of course, here we will import the compiled style.css to our HTML document. So right now you can't see any major changes for the compiled version, but let me show you this one. Let's close this one and then say we have the body element here, and in body element there is a header element. So in normal CSS, if we target the header element inside the body, we need to type like this one, body header, and then we will put the CSS property to the header. But in style.css, we will just call on the header element, but this time inside the body element here. This one, let's add a background color of red. When we save that one, it will now compile into this code right here. So we don't need to type again. Let's say if we need to target the main nav div here, in normal CSS we will call it like this, main nav. But in SAS, we will just call the main nav inside the header element here. Just like that. Let's say let's add a color of red. And then just like that. So this is the reason why I choose to use this one, because we can just nest all the elements here in one block. So pretty cool, right? And also one of the main reason why I use SAS in all my projects is that we can declare a value right here. Say for example, we have a color of, I don't know, um just a random color right here. Let's copy that one and add it here. So like this one. Say for example, we have this color right here, and we will use this to another element. Let's say we will add it later on site hero description. It's fine, it's fine. But in the future, if we try to change the color of it to something else, we need to find all the color in your SAS file and change it one by one. But in SAS, we can declare a variable called, let's say, background color, and add the color right here, and then call this one to set the background of these elements. When we change the value for this one, all the color that's using bg color, it will reference to this variable at the top. So right now we will start styling our website. But before that, let me show you the HTML document. Let's close this one. So for this tutorial, we will skip writing the HTML document because I don't want to bore you watching me typing all the HTML code. So I will just show it to you just to have an idea how or what the elements I used. So at the top here, doc type HTML. So this is the basic boilerplate for the HTML5, and then the head tag, and also I use Open Sans from fonts.google API, and then I imported the style.css. And oh, before anything else, for the style.css or the compiled version of our SAS file here, when we change something from, or let's say we want to change something directly in style.css, let's say we will change it to Roboto. Save. Once we save this one here, it will revert to Open Sans. Why? Because style.css here is the compiled version of SAS file here, which also the live SAS compiler watching any changes for this one. And once we save the changes we made inside the SAS file, it will automatically compiled into style.css. So make sure if you update some codes of your CSS or styles, make sure to add it in SCSS file or the SAS file. Then next we have the header here, the site header, the main nav. So let me show you the final output. This will be our main nav here, and this will be our secondary nav. Next, the section with a class of site hero. This will be this part. And I added site hero description for the description or the title and the short description for of the movie, and the popular movies div right here for this one. I wrapped it in a div with a class of row. Next, the movies list. Yeah, it's like the same with the popular movies list right here, and another movies list here for the Netflix originals, and that's it. And that will be our HTML document. So to style this, let's add a background color for the body because Netflix has dark color. So we will use this value right here. And of course, let's open it with the live server. So this will be our live server, and let's call on the site header. So let me just add a comment block here that says site header, and let's call on the site header. So I will just paste the code here. So I will just explain it one by one to you. So I added the display flex here, and of course we aligned it into center. so that the alignment for this nav right here and right here is aligned center. Next, justify content space between. So they will have space between each other. So that's why the main nav here is placed in the left side and the secondary nav here is placed on the right side. And then the padding of 20 pixel top and bottom, 40 pixel left and right, and the background color of same with the background color here. So let's make a variable right here because we have the same background here. We can just add, let's say, dark BG, and then we will use dark BG right here. And next, I added position sticky just to make the header here stay at the top as we scroll on the page. And I added top 0 to make sure that it will be placed at the top of the page. And then I added z index of 10. Next, let's style the anchor tags. This one right here. All of this one. So let's call on the anchor tag and let me paste code here. So right here I just remove the underline below the text by calling the text decoration and set the font size to 14 pixels and the color of white. Save that one. So next, let's call on the main nav. So as you can see, main nav is under the site header container. So we will just add it inside the site header block here. The main nav. And let me paste the code here. So display flex and align items into center. And let's call on the image right here, which is the logo or the main logo for our website. IMG, then set it to width of 100 pixels and margin right of 16 pixels. So next, let's call on the anchor tags right here. And we will add the animation here because we want to have this effect as we hover the nav right here. So paste this one, and then inside the anchor tag block, let's add the ampersand. So ampersand right here, it's like we're calling the a tag and then add the hover just like that. So this is what it looks like in normal CSS. So don't forget that ampersand, it's like connecting this one to this one. So also I added the selector not here. So it's like saying call all the anchor tag but do not include the one that has active class. So when we save this one, we will have this effect. For the active class or for the active state of the anchor tag, we will just add this one below here. Because if you can see here, we already added the class active home right here. So let's add a font weight of 600. And there you go. If we try to go to another page, we must add class to which page you are in your website. So that's like that. Let's revert that one. And now let's add padding to, or let's add margin to our nav links here. So let's call that nav links. Target all a tag from the site header and do not include the last child. We're just basically adding margin right of 16 pixels here, and we didn't include the last child, which is this one. So if we check that one, there is no padding or margin because we didn't include it in our CSS rules. So that's it for the main nav. And right now, let's head on to secondary nav. We will just add it still inside header secondary. Now let's add a display flex here, save, and then of course let's call on the right. Let's resize the images inside the secondary nav, but we will not include the user avatar. So that's it for the header. So as you can see, if we scroll on the page, it stays right at the top of our page. So that's because of the position sticky that we added earlier inside that header. So next we will go for the site hero right here. Call on this site hero class. So let's add a position relative, a height of 100 VH, but we're going to subtract it by 110 pixels, and overflow hidden, and a background of the Avenger poster, and add a display flex, justify content of flex end, and flex direction of column. So let's save that one and see what it looks like. So next, let's call on the site hero description. So for the site hero description, as you can see inside the site hero, I called it site hero description. So to call this one, we don't need to call on the site hero description. All we have to do is to add ampersand right here and then dash description. So it's like saying site hero description like that, and then let me paste the CSS property here. So I change it to color white, and then the width of 40 pixels, and set it to position absolute. So I added height of 100%, display flex, flex direction of column, justify content to center, and I added the padding of 0 top and bottom, 40 pixels left and right, and also I added a gradient effect for the background of the description. So direction for the gradient is 77 degree, and from black to another black right here, but with the 92% of opacity. And also I added text shadow right here for visibility purposes. So to show you what it looks like this one, I will try to explain the position I added for the site hero. So if you can see, I added position relative for this one, and for the description I added position absolute. If we didn't add the position relative in site hero, this is what it looks like. So the site hero description right here will be aligned into the body. If you can see the highlight, it goes through the site header, and we don't want that. We want it to align perfectly inside the site hero container. So what we did is we added the position relative so that the site hero description right here will align inside the site hero. So to check that one, there you go. So next, let's add the red color for this one. So this is not necessary, guys. I just want to have it like that. And then let's call on the H1 right here. Set it to 45 pixels and margin bottom of 16 pixels. Then next, let's target the paragraph and set it to font size of 23 pixels. Hit save. So right now, let's start styling the movies list. So right now it is placed at the left side of our page. So first, let's call on the popular movies right here inside the site hero container. Popular movies. Let's add overflow hidden and position relative. So click save. and then let's target the row, because right now it is display as column, so we want it to display it in a column way. Right now we will add a global class of row. So to add that, let's go back at the top of our CSS code right here, and let's add, or let's call on the row class, and add display flex, the width of 100%, and an overflow x auto. So what this does, it will make our row container here scrollable, just like the final output right here. And then add 20 pixels top and bottom for the pixels left and right, and a minimum height of 220 pixels. So let's save that one, and then there you go. To remove this ugly scroll bar right here, let's just call on the WebKit scroll bar inside the row container and add a CSS rule of display none. Click save. So to scroll this one, we need to hold the shift key in our keyboard and then scroll it using your mouse. The next, let's target the div, and then target the image and add a width of 300 pixels, cursor pointer, border radius of 4 pixels, and also we added a transition effect for the transform property here, and set it to 750 millisecond. To check that one, this is how it looks like when we added the transition for the transform. So next are the margin right here. All we have to do is to target all the div and do not include the last child. So to check that one, there you go. Next, let's target the section title. So let's put it here, section title, and set it to 23 pixel, and the font weight of bold and color of white, and then added a padding of 0 top and bottom and 40 left and right. Click save, and there you go. I added a margin top of 32 pixels just to have a spacing between the other movies list. So that's it. I hope you learned something for today's video. And just let me know if you have any questions. Just leave a comment at the comment section, and I will try my best to answer that one. So if you like my works and want me to do more videos just like this one, just click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you will get notified once I upload new videos. Also, if you wish to support me in this channel, I set up a Patreon page. So don't worry guys, it's only $1, and by having it, you will also get the source code for this specific project. So to those who can afford for our Patreon page and wish to have the source code for this project, you can just watch the entire video and follow me along. So don't worry guys, the source code files in my Patreon page and in this video are the same. So if you have a suggestion of what to build next, just comment it below. So we will try to build that in the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.